Yes.
So I was asking Sandhya that Sandhya, do plan if we can send some of our school owners from Hyderabad and Secunderabad to see the early years.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sri Lakshmi, for this session with all our this thing. We are all passionate running preschools, and what was my mind behind bringing you is that passion which our all owners and teachers will be able to see, which is reflecting from your institute to a person like you personally who is really involved in day-to-day operations, right? We found very less owners and visionaries who is really work on a field everyday basis. So thank you so much, and over to you, Sri Lakshmi.
Thank you so much, Preetham. Wonderful meeting you again. It doesn't feel like, it's been, a couple of months yet. It's still fresh in my mind. And congratulations to you too. And it's my pleasure to be with you all here today. And, let me tell you why I'm congratulating you to, bring together so many people and to create so many ecosystems and to scale an idea to this level is not an easy job. I know we're getting
Thank
into
you
too
so
much of
much.
mutual appreciation here, but I should really, tell you it takes a lot of effort, a lot of discipline, and a great vision, to create something like this. Of course, how well we do it, how far can we take, this is always an evolving process. It's always a learning process for everyone. So, hello everyone. I'm so happy to be with you all here today. And I'm really excited that you're all from preschools. I keep telling this, at my organization that everyone says, you run three different organizations, each one is so unique and it's all surrounded around innovation. And I say, my EYP department is where I go to when I want to be stress free. So you are all associated with young children. And also, mostly I observed all the teachers associated with, preschools are also very young. And in those environments, the excitement, the energy, and the patience that it carries is really high. What I really want to bring to you all today, I was thinking, what is that I can really tell you all? I'm not here to tell you, how you should teach, what should happen in your classrooms, because you're the best judge of what should happen in your classrooms, the culture that you have set. I think as Hello Kids environment, you all together have one philosophy, one approach, one curriculum framework, what should happen in each of your classrooms. And I'm sure you're all very aligned to it, connected to it. And more than anything, this kind of approach to bring experts and have this common platform for everyone to learn is also really good. I appreciate this idea, Preetham, for them to, come onto one platform and also listen to the experts. Sandhya, or do you have the presentation with you? Vijay, do they have the presentation?
Yes, ma'am, we have the
Oh,
presentation.
okay. Would you like to go ahead and present it? I don't have the access to present, so. Yeah. So I love interactions. I feel there's more energy when we are able to communicate. I know in a virtual mode, it's, a one-side
యా
communication, but I'll
నువ్వు
try
మెట్రో
to.
నుంచి ఇంటికి ఇంటి నుంచి బీరం కూడా అట్లా
Uh,
పెట్టుకోరా చాలు నీకు
so I think
కాదులే
someone
అని
has to
అన్నాడు.
go on mute. Okay. If possible, I genuinely request all of you to turn on your video so that we know who we are speaking with. and I'll get started. All of us, whoever is in the education, you keep hearing to this word, passion is not the, big thing, right? Everyone is passionate. If not for passion, I don't think so there will be a single teacher out there in your classroom. Can you put this into the presentation mode, Sandhya? And what is the difference? What is the difference when we say, that everyone is so passionate? Then why is that, sometimes we feel our classrooms are still doing the same old thing? Yes, I'm sure as schools, as educators, we have come a long way from where we were to what we are doing right now. And again, when we associate passion with hard work, you will have one principal or the teacher coming and say, I put in so much hard work, but why is that I hear, okay, your school is doing an okay job, not a great job? We associate hard work and passion, everything, with emotion, right? But what actually works in a classroom needs strategy and logic and research. So when we associate our emotions, everyone is doing a great job. In fact, you go to a government school, walk into an Anganwadi, look at the teacher, you will see a lot of hard work, you will see a lot of passion. But why are those, classrooms or rooms different from your schools? Or how is your school, or your classroom different from much more innovative classroom in some other country or even in India? And that is something that we would like to, explore today. Next. Sandhya, I'll just give you the cue as next, and then you can move on to the next slide. Yeah. So every educator I have, through A Square Foundation, through our Center for Innovation, we work with a lot of educators across international schools to government schools. And then I might have, interacted with at least 5,000 teachers and beyond. And I have never seen passion as a problem. The biggest challenge is how many of them are turning it into an action. Even a small idea or a small strategy or an initiative, are we turning it into an action? So, where is the concern? Is it just because we have these great ideas and we get into this loop about, okay, I think our teachers are not that qualified enough, or we do not have these resources in our school, or, I do not have access to great knowledge or great ideas? So most of the time, our challenges are associated with some physical aspect or something to do with, what is not available. And that's when this pause comes in. Why are we not turning our passion into action? And whatever we are doing right now is great. But how do we go to the next level? How do we enable our classrooms, to work like, okay, this is, let's say, this can be a model classroom for all the preschools in India. How do you turn your classrooms to that? Right now, you're passionate and you're hardworking. So, one theory that is there, we'll move on to the elephant slide. I know most of you are aware of the story, elephant tied to a rope. So there is this small story that there was this, father and son who used to visit the temple every single day. And he saw that, this baby elephant has been tied with a small rope to one pole. And then this kid, asked the father, then why is the elephant tied with a rope to this, pole? He said, because this elephant will be wandering around, it'll run away. You know how in Krishna's story, the mother ties the kid, with the rope, because it's not, it'll go everywhere. It'll be tied, so it doesn't move away. Now, many years passed, and finally, the father and the son came back to the same temple. Now, the boy is grown up boy, and the elephant is also big. Imagine the small elephant, which has become a bigger elephant now tied to the rope. And you know what this kid asked? Dad, why do you think the elephant is not moving still? But if you see, the rope is still a small rope. The elephant has grown up. If he just pushes the rope a little bit, it'll just come off. Now the elephant can go anywhere. And you know what the father answered? The elephant, right from the childhood, is conditioned to think that it is tied and it cannot move away. And not because it cannot, because it never thought that it could. So the rope has conditioned it right from childhood, and even when it grew up, it never thought it can move away because the rope is there to its leg, even though it is a small rope now. And if you apply this to how our teachers are behaving and how we are thinking, in many situations, we do things the way we do because we are conditioned like that. We got used to the mundane things, even a simple habits of ours. As you are a principal, you are the founder of your preschool. Every day, the routine that you start with, once you enter your preschool, why do you do that, thing that you have been doing? Because you're conditioned to it. Why is your teacher every time in your PP2 class or whichever class say, oh, kids, don't talk? So that's a habit that she got used to. She's been conditioned to it for so many years. Now, how do we break this rope that you got conditioned to, that your teachers got conditioned to? And how do you make your classrooms advanced, with the top innovative strategies or ideas? So, first, being aware of what are the things that you all got fixed to is more important than what you should be doing. I would suggest take a paper, list down what are the things that you think you and your teachers or your school is been doing, which you think has no, doesn't make really sense, but you all got, conditioned to it. We'll move to the next one. Next. So, there is just an evidence also from a research done in Nigeria among 379 preschools especially. So children taught through play-based strategies showed significantly their SEL skills than children taught through demonstration, right? And the second study found play-based learning alone explained nearly half of it, with physical activities strengthening attention and self-regulation. I'm sure you're all excited now, right? Oh, we're all, play-based schools. We do a lot of play-based strategies. But what we don't really see is, do we have the evidence that this is really working? Right? And how many times? So we all believe that, okay, play-based method, play-based strategy, everything is play and learn, we're doing activity, and we've gone into this mundane thing. But are we sitting, reflecting, and thinking, is this helping the children to learn? Are all my preschool kids in my school reading? Are they all able to read this book by the end? Are they all able to do this level of math by the end? What is working? Is it working just because it is playway method? Or is it working just because we are making sure everyone is pushed to that end? Why is it working? Why is it not working? I think all our goal is to push all our children coming to our schools. Primary goal is to best literacy and best numeracy. And did we reflect on that? That I would leave it to you to understand. How do we bring practices of reading, practices of best numeracy, and not just being stuck to the idea that, okay, it is play based, it is activity. We're doing this activity, so they should learn. So moving out of that assumption is very, very important. Next. There is this concept called Kingfisher's pause. I want you all to think about the kingfisher bird. Usually this bird, how kingfishers move? They just pause. It's so intense. It is stops. It is, there, it waits. It's ideal. If you see, you just feel like it's not even moving. And all of a sudden, it takes a big flight. And the way it takes that flight, you will not even imagine, oh, is that the same? But it was just pausing. I didn't, within a, fraction of a second, it goes to that. So your passion becomes practice, not when you're busy. All of us think, in my preschool setup, I got all this material from my branch and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then you're all busy and you're always satisfying yourself, we're doing a great work. But when you go reflect, and when the management visits, or when somebody comes and says, why are the practices still not that advanced, why are you stuck, why are the teachers still not able to get to that level of reading for all the children, or numeracy for all children, or great learning and exposure for all the children, we're always looking at how busy we are and how much work we are doing. And then we always conceptualize it to the amount of work that we are doing. And that's where I feel you need the Kingfisher's pause. It becomes a practice when we're all still enough to see clearly and then move completely, right? So when you pause and have the day for 3-4 hours with all your teachers, this is one practice that I do across the institutions, that I the at our organizations. There is always one day across the term where there is no agenda. How many times did you give your teachers, let us all sit together, not having an agenda, pause and understand and put down all the questions? And how many times in your institutions have you sent a survey for your teachers, just you, not that comes from your central office? Send, just one single form, anonymous, where the teacher need not write her name, so that the teacher is not being judged. Just anonymous form to all your teachers and ask her to just write, what did you think about the curriculum this time? What do you think was very difficult for you? What do you think worked very well for you? Where do you think we can really include great ideas? We sitting orally and asking questions is different, because people, when they're sitting with their leader, how much they open up, there are so many biases to it. And the most important thing, let's say all your schools want a well-being program, right? Now you want to bring in a well-being session for all your schools, social emotional learning. How do you do it? We all think, okay, let all the teachers come, we will invite a well-being expert, and the well-being expert will be giving a session to them, and then we have done the well-being. Do you think that is going to solve the well-being at your school? The NEP says social emotional learning is important, well-being needs to be done, for all the schools. Then we bring an expert, we do once or twice or thrice in a year, and the well-being is taken care of? No. It's something that you can claim that your school is doing a great job at, should be seen in your timetable. Whether we say curiosity as well, every child learns at his own pace. What is your timetable saying about it? For example, in our organization, the social emotional learning well-being program is incorporated in the timetable for every grade, every class. Even in AYPPC, morning 8:30 to 9 o'clock, the 30 minutes is given for the social emotional learning program. It is in the timetable. Then in our teacher's timetable, once in a month, 2 hours or 1 hour is allocated, and it is written in the timetable. It is communicated to the teachers at the beginning of the year. And now comes the challenge. Now that is allotted in your time, what should they do? How many hours? Okay, with my teachers, we got 30 hours now, with giving 1 hour, 1 or 2 hours every month. I got 30 hours, I got 20 hours, or I got 10 hours of well-being for the teachers. Now, what am I doing in this well-being for the teachers? What do they do in this 10 hours? Now you see, it's the big picture. How a small decision in your timetable will lead to the big picture. Whenever you want to bring change in your school, bring a new idea to your school, an innovative idea into your school, first go sit with your timetable. You have great ideas, you're communicating these great ideas. All your speeches that you go sit with your teacher, and then when the experts come and say, these are inspirations, these are motivations. Your inspirations and motivations will not bring any change in your classroom for that student. What is required is, have you written it down in your timetable? Have you included it in your timetable? Have you included it in your teacher's training plan? Have you included it in their time? And that is when, you start seeing that, a child's day reads differently. All of us, whatever passion we carry, whatever great ideas we carry, whatever innovation we carry, we want it to go reach that child in your school, right? And if it's not reaching that child, all of that we are talking about, and if you don't get the evidence, from the child, from your school, all that we are claiming and talking about is only motivation and inspiration, but nothing is in action. We'll go to the next one. And when there is one suggestion that I give, everyone, for all the school leaders, there has to be a 30 minutes thinking time for every leader. Just that 30 minutes that you keep aside is not going to change. Okay, if I just take 30 minutes, who will run the school? There will be this parent call, there will be this teacher's call, somebody comes in. I'm not saying you should avoid emergencies. But if you keep that 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes, I want you to think about that change that you're thinking, that innovation that you want to bring in, that idea that you want to bring in. And I want to leave you all in this session with bring social emotional learning to your school. It will make a huge difference. Social emotional learning is one thing that will lead to a lot of changes in everything that you do. And many times, the social emotional learning, the well-being idea for your teachers should not have always a conversation about students. Sometimes when you tell your teachers, okay, this session, it has nothing to do with students. Let us focus on you, about you. What are you doing? And it's not for them to sit and share about their family issues or their family problems. It's for them to reflect. Just reflect. What ideas am I coming with? How much of it was I able to do this year? You have to collect the fee, you have to talk to the parents. You know that, especially in preschools, you are the whole and soul, all round go-to person for every small thing. Do you all agree? Right? Just nod your heads. I can see some of you. And when everything, I call all the principal's room, founder's room as vending machines. Everybody comes and vents in your room. Parent, a child issue, the admissions, the transportation guy, everybody comes to your room. And you don't have any other place to go to, for you to vent out. And that is where these protected minutes help. Right? Okay, this year I want to set up a great, library reading hour in my school. Or this year I want to bring in, the Reggio approach. Or this year we want to improve how we communicate with our parents, whether we are sharing. And just say the idea is as simple as every month, every single teacher in your class, school is sharing one anecdote about the student once a month to the parent. If this is the idea, now how do you make sure this gets executed? Right? So it has to come in the timetable, which hour, which day, when. And from there to you working on your protected minutes, how do you know if this is working or not? And what kind of evidence are you collecting? Without having an evidence, do not ever accept the idea that, okay, we are, implementing all these great strategies in our school. There has to be an evidence to everything. Next one. Next, yeah. So protect that 1 hour a week where teachers' only task is to observe children, not to deliver a lesson or not to manage a room. This is just an idea. This is not possible for everyone. Probably just that 1 hour for yourself where, most of the time you all go around the school, right? You do those walks. Okay, what is this teacher doing? Who's sitting here? You all do these walks. Have you ever done a conscious walk where, okay, this time during my walk, I just want to observe only how many students in each class are speaking, are participating. The next 1 hour walk, every time you go around the school, how many of my teachers have actually sat down with the children in a small circle time? Or are always busy teaching? So do that 1 hour of an agenda purposed walk in your school. Question that rule, not the person. When something is not working, we always say, why is it not working? I told you to do so. So not for everything, discipline is important, rules are important. And always look at third person perspective. If another person from another city, state walks into your school, what is that they all observe? Mostly you observe things that you think they feel excited about, do the other way around. What are all the negative aspects do you think they will observe? Right? There are physical resource limitations, but trust me, to bring in great ideas into any preschool, even to an Anganwadi in a government school, to the premium Hello Kids school, to anywhere, there is no restriction. I feel financially, the resources that we bring in has nothing to do with how far we can do. I have worked with schools where everything that was just available freely in the nature, we have a concept called loose parts. I'm sure every preschool is equipped like that. You all bring lot of free resources into your school to teach your children. And especially preschools are great examples for it. So walk like a visitor and look at how do you bring great ideas and great innovation into your schools. The next one. And, mycelium effect is what I leave Hello Kids with. So, you know what mycelium is? It's a fungi. It's like a mushroom, fungi. And I look at your schools like that. Yeah. So, Preetham, I think this could be a great anecdote for you to look at all your schools. Now, if you see, mycelium puts a great effect in connecting all the trees in a forest. And you have a great network of schools, not other individual preschools have this kind of a support and network. And no single tree individually carries the forest. Because you have this effect, now this fungi gives or is the one that is enabling the forest to be alive like that. And this is called the mycelium effect. What I want to tell you is all your schools, there are hundreds of schools network. Each school is maybe having one very unique, great idea. How well is that idea translating to another school? Where are you documenting it? How are you sharing it? Who is, getting inspired from that idea and implementing that into your school? Where is this sharing ecosystem? Where is the visibility to one of the greatest ideas that one of the teachers in one of the schools of Hello Kids has implemented? Now, how do we bring that idea and have all the schools do it? And that is, leading to the mycelium effect. And how can you create that kind of ecosystem or network and then the sharing mechanism or portal? And, no single tree carries the forest. In the same way, I think Hello Kids organization success leads to every school putting in the same effort and setting the same standard. What's the biggest challenge with India and the education is the standardization. One school, there's always great idea, but when we spread the idea across too many schools, the idea gets diluted. So from wherever you are as a school, you want to get it to the next level. How do you bring that next level picture to your school has a connection to everything that you do? So if you can focus on that one small thing, take one idea that one teacher has really created. I'm sure each school has that one thing. And if you have to scale it, what is your next 3 months plan? If you can share that, like, for example, one of your teachers came up with an idea of the reading activity where it is called partner reading. So she printed the material and she gave this material to all the kids. And because she can't sit individually with each of this, 20 or 30 kids in the classroom, she, divided the class into groups. She made both the teachers, both the kids, discuss with each other and partner reading. And the most vulnerable kids are the kids who cannot read at all are sitting with her. Okay, let's say this is one idea that one of your teachers implemented. Now you want all your teachers in your school to implement this. First requires documentation of that idea and putting an evidence to that idea, then demonstration of that idea, then a plan of action in the timetable where this idea will be executed and how it will be executed, then implementation. So I want you all to take one idea like that and do it in the next 3 months and share your stories. The next one. Yeah. We'll be sharing, a reflection form, like a takeaway for you all. If we can share the reflection form also here, I'll just explain what the reflection form is. This is more for you, and we want to listen, whichever session I go, you can, a LinkedIn link to my profile will be shared everywhere. In the chat box it will be shared everywhere. What I really see is that, even when you step out of this session, you are all tired, you're ending the session, but what we really want is, what is the takeaway from this, that you have put it into action. In order for you to do that, I have given this form. Please feel free to, write answers to this. Whoever is willing, can share, with your, management and with your central office of the ideas. And I also think, at least 5 to 6 of the best ideas from that can be made into a big action plan and spread across all the schools, that are implementing it. So, keeping the time in mind, I'm trying to wrap the session a little quick here, but would love to, have more conversations and leave you with more strategies. Trust me, any great school, the kids have to come out with great reading ability and numeracy ability. Only then we can all claim we are actually able to make our schools learn. So I wish everyone all the best, and thanks for joining and listening to me. And I hoped, there is, some learning that came out of it. So the first section is more reflection in this takeaway. And then the next, can you go to the second part of the reflection takeaway? And I request everyone to answer these questions today when it is fresh in your mind. And please answer them for yourselves. And then probably you can share the pictures or whatever you have written and take one item from this into action. So I hope all your passion turns into action. And I hope, we all take India and, our children's learning to the next level, and and will all be great example, for our country's education system as well. Thank you so much. Namaste. And I welcome you all to Keystone anytime. Thank you, Preetham.
I request the branches. This is a great chance to interact with ma'am. If you have any queries regarding the session, please ask ma'am.
All right, Sandhya, I will say my thanks to Sri Lakshmi. It was great. And the last part, which you are giving a note to us, we always wanted to do, but maybe because of some XYZ reason, we could not do that. And I will try to make sure that I will handle that part personally. And
Great.
with the help of Sandhya and Kavita, immediately after this session today, we'll work on it from tomorrow itself,
Oh,
and definitely share the best of these practices or some innovations to you
sure.
within your given time of 3 months. All right. And thank you for
Yes.
joining. And it is really reflecting the way you work. And this is, I think, this is the reason where we wanted to bring you to us. And thank you so much for your
Sure.
time and efforts, whatever you have given. And definitely the next time, I will also plan to come to you with the school owners from Hyderabad. All right.
Yes.
So I
Sure.
will plan with Sandhya and definitely be there personally with you
So,
again, with
Preetham, I
all
also
the school
think
owners.
if you could identify just 2, 3 schools as model schools and then create certain examples there, and then, very focused group,
Yes,
and then that can, have a ripple effect on all the other schools.
definitely. We'll do that immediately. And
Great.
hopefully we'll give you that reports also.
Oh,
So
sure.
thank you once again, and thank you all for listening. I hope that whatever Sri Lakshmi has given it to us, let's work it together. And again, not only for the India, for all our children across the country.
Yes.
And thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. Namaste.
All right. Thank you. everyone. Thank you, Kavita and Sandhya. See you all.
Thank you so
Any
much.
any just make a note, Kavita, and we should share with everyone, and we'll start working on it.
Yeah, sir.
Some best practices from across the branches